Murderers are not monsters. They're men. And that's the most frightening thing about them, Alice Sebold said of the Lovely Bones. But let's get into it in the Darrell Show.
Welcome to the Darrell Show, where we discuss culture, news, politics, and more. Sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy the show. Be sure to tell your friends and family about the revolution.
What's up, everyone? I hope you guys are having a freaking fantastic day. I appreciate you guys so much for taking time out of your day to hang out with me. It means a lot to me. It genuinely does. If you want to support my show, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/Darrell Show. That's buymeacoffee.com/Darrell Show. All one word. Link is in the description, as always. If you also want a stupid mug with my face on it, that's actually a decent mug, and I bought it myself. It's wonderful. It's only the best mug in the world to drink coffee out of, and you get to see a picture of me while you drink. So what could be better than that? That's also in the link description, show notes, if you listen to the podcast, whatever. But I hope you guys are having a freaking fantastic day on this Thursday. You're making it through the end of the week, and I'm proud of you. You should be proud of yourself. It's almost the weekend. We did it. Fantastic. A story that I don't want to give up, that it seems like the media wants to constantly give up and act like it wasn't that big of a deal, is the Waukesha Christmas Parade. That was a devastating event and very terroristic in its style, though it hasn't been labeled as such, and nor has he been convicted of that kind of crime. But at the same time, how is it not? I don't understand how this isn't a bigger deal. I don't understand how something that was right after the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, and then you saw all his Facebook posting, and it made too much sense. And it went against the narrative too much. And so, therefore, it is why this story just completely stopped. But I want to talk about the Waukesha Christmas Parade because we're finding out information about him and what's going on in the trial. And he's got some quotes that I just think it's almost so insane it's comical. That's where I'm at with a lot of the world right now. It's like, if you're not laughing, you're crying. So if you find a way to laugh, and because it's just so incredible out there. But as always, let's do a deep dive real quick to see what MSNBC is talking about. Because, there are real tragic events going on in the world, like the school shooter yesterday that I was at work all day, and then I saw that school shooter, and I'm like, what the It's devastating. And you saw right now, you're seeing the media right now try to conflate his parents with Trump supporters. And I'm just like, that really? So there's like hundreds of stories about how the school shooter had like Trump supporting, 2A advocate, blah, 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 blah. But then there's nothing about this Waukesha Christmas Parade guy. Nothing. We don't even want to run a story. And if we're going to run a story, it's not going to be on the head page. MSNBC is talking about their top story is Lauren Boebert and the Jihad Squad controversy is only getting worse. Because to them on the MSNBC, to them on the left, words are more powerful and more dangerous than actually running over someone. Being against something, being against someone, saying probably very things that you shouldn't say if you're a congressperson. At what point, I understand Lauren and why she says these things. I mean, as a conservative, you get constantly pushed. I get called horrible things. And so you get to a point where you're like, no, screw it. I'm pushing back, and I'm going to say crazy things back. And then as soon as you say crazy things back, it's like, oh my God, look at this. Look at Lauren Boebert. It's so insane what she's saying. How are Republicans not freaking out about this? Because you guys call us terrible things all the time with no context and no background, and you just fly off your hip.
Look at that guy. He's a white supremacist, piece of crap, homophobe, racist, blah, blah, blah. He hates black people. He hates white people. He hates Asians. He hates Hispanics, blah, blah, blah. So stupid. If you're against this, then you're against black people. And you're like, no.
So they say crazy things, but MSNBC is talking about Lauren Boebert. That's a huge thing for them. And also Trump, of course.
Here's everything Trump did after testing positive for COVID.
These people are insane. As if there isn't way more insane things going on in the world. As always with MSNBC, CNN, what are they talking about? They're actually talking about the school shooter, which is good because it's a very tragic and horrible event. But then they're talking about Roe v. Wade, Simone Sanders, and nothing. Alec Baldwin, blah, blah, blah. But let's get into this Waukesha Christmas Parade. Just to be reminded, here's an 11-year-old girl right now currently fighting for her life, currently on a ventilator, currently in the ICU. She's got 8 cracked ribs, a lacerated liver, a detached kidney, and bruises in her intestine, her uncle said. I mean, according to her dad, she's in an immense amount of pain, and her uncle says a huge, huge fighting spirit. Pray for this 11-year-old girl. May she recover from this tragic and horrible event that the media pretends like is not that big of a deal. Here's from USA Today. Milwaukee, in his first jailhouse interview since being taken into custody, Darrell Brooks Jr. said that he believes he is being demonized and treated like a monster after police said he mowed down. Okay, this sentence is the most insane sentence I've ever. Just prepare yourself for this. Okay, take a deep breath, relax, and just realize the kind of craziness we live in today's world. Milwaukee, this is from Milwaukee, in his first jailhouse interview since being taken into custody, Darrell Brooks Jr. said he believes he's being demonized and treated like a monster after police say he mowed down 60 people, killing 6 during a Christmas parade. He's being treated like a monster and demonized after mowing down 60 people and killing 6. We have another 11-year-old girl fighting for her life currently. I'm being treated like a monster. Scott F. Fitzgerald in Tender Night has this quote that I just love. He was so terrible that he was no longer terrible, only dehumanized. Say that one more time. He was so terrible that he was no longer terrible, only dehumanized. Sometimes when you see horrible acts in life, you see horrible, devastating acts like the Christmas parade, you don't have a category for that. You're like, this is evil, but this is beyond evil. And people that don't have a morality or don't think there's such thing as morality,
And it's like, where does this morality come from? Is it God? Is it myself? Is it through cultural relevance? Is it through historical upbringing in my Christian society?
They struggle with categories of good and evil. But for me, who's a Christian, I believe in good, that there are true evil, true sin. There's a category for true evil. And it's sin. It's disgusting. It makes you want to throw up. There's no other category for that than that. So this guy says he's being demonized and treated like a monster. Well, bro, you ran over 60 people and you killed 6 during a lovely Christmas Day parade. This wasn't an altercation. This wasn't someone getting in your face, maybe saying racist things or calling you out on something or wanting to punch you in the face, and then you fought back. You just took your SUV and you put the pedal to the metal, swerved around people, and then mowed down 60 people and killed 6. And if more people are still in the hospital. What did you think? What category should we call you? A human? Because I know you want to be treated like a human, but we wish you would have given that same regard to the people you mowed down. What category would you give those people? Should those people have been treated like a human? Because it seems like you didn't treat them like a human. It seems like you treated them like animals. Someone just to mow down. You're in my way. You're in my path. I'm trying to create a message. I don't know. Brooks spoke with Fox News briefly Wednesday. The media outlet refers to Brooks as soft-spoken. Why did that need to be included in the article? He's a tender-hearted young man. We need to be treating him like a human. Yes, I'm not saying to dehumanize this guy, but always with narcissists or people like this or dealing with guilt and shame, they scream, hey, you guys aren't treating me like a human. And they're so deep in their narcissistic tendencies, they don't even know why they're being treated that way. They don't have the conscious ability to be able to step back and look and say, you know what, you're being treated like this because you mowed down 60 people, bro. Brooks said, I just feel like I'm being monster dehumanized. Brooks told Fox News, adding he feels he's being dehumanized. I just feel like I'm being monster dehumanized. Brooks appeared calm, lucid, and took time to answer each question, even repeating reporters' questions. He's just a good guy. I like the way USA Today is trying to make this guy seem like an okay, decent human being, as opposed to him and his long rap sheet. Constantly being bailed out. And he crossed the line and went too far this time. But again, the media aren't putting this story out, the corporate media. Not a big deal. We're on to bigger things. We're talking about Roe versus Wade. We're talking about school shooter. We're talking about inflation. We're talking about Biden's scoffs. I don't know. I don't know what Fox News talks about in their midday program.
Oh, Biden this day struggled on this word.
There's real stuff going on out there. There's a real culture war going on out there. And people are closing their eyes to it. They're like,
the news? It stresses me out.
I don't want to listen. I get that. But that's how also we got into World War II, right? We're just like,
Germany is not affecting us. Oh, crap. Japan.
As always with my segments, I want to flip it onto us, but I want to remind you about what's going on here and tell you about that 11-year-old girl who won't get the recognition she deserves. You know, the president isn't going, you remember, the president isn't going and meeting with these people who got injured during the fight. If it was a gay pride rally or if it was a Black Lives Matter rally or something that fits the narrative, they'd be there in a heartbeat and they'd be praying and they'd say, this country has so much to learn, so much to do, blah, blah, blah. I'm fake. I'm manufacturing outrage just to make it seem like I'm going to appease my base because that's what I care about. I don't actually care about real people like this guy and the 60 people he ran over. Not a big deal. So let's flip it on to us as human beings, because I like to talk to you. My encouragement is to not be like this freaking dude. Don't be like Darrell Brooks. Have empathy towards other people in your life. The media is constantly trying to pull us apart as human beings. They're trying to make us versus them. Always. Us versus them. Us versus them. And I know there's a sentiment in that you and I both feel that. You know, it's gotten to the point now where I want to take a side because I'm so tired of trying to be the person who wants to have empathy or trying to be the peacemaker or trying to be the person that's like, I just want to have a conversation. They're like,
your conversation is hate speech.
Find a way to have empathy towards people, especially during this holiday, Hanukkah, Christmas. And then that other holiday that I'm going to celebrate on here, Kwanzaa. I'm a huge Kwanzaa guy. Way into Kwanzaa. Find a way to be empathetic towards another human being that maybe you don't necessarily feel inclined to be empathetic towards them. I feel like the most growth in our life always is the thing that we don't want to do, the thing that we least want to do. And sometimes it's talking to that person who we don't like, being empathetic. Maybe they're hurting. Maybe they're dealing with some real shizzle in their life, and they just need a voice to listen to. They need someone to say, hey, you look like you're going through some crap. Anything I can do for you, man? Or woman?
Or woman. Either one, I'd be happy to help with.
Have empathy towards another human being this holiday season. Don't be like this guy. And then also, if you get called out and you're crap, if you're being a total douchebag, if you're being a horrible human being, if you're just being a selfish prick, if someone calls you out on it, take it. Learn from it. Shut your mouth. Say, you're right, I am. I could do better than this. Don't be like this guy. Hey, you mowed down 60 people. You killed 6. You got an 11-year-old girl fighting for her freaking life right now.
People are calling me a monster.
No, take the crap. You deserve it. If you want empathy, if you want forgiveness, if you're seeking forgiveness, take your licks. But if you're not asking for forgiveness and seeking forgiveness and lowering your life down for another person is something that is becoming more and more rare in today's society. As we constantly tell each other, don't apologize for who you are. Well, sometimes you need to, all right? Because a lot of us are selfish pricks. Let me know your thoughts on this, guys. I just saw this article and I was like, I gotta say something because we have a culture that constantly wants to move on from horrible events because there's more stuff going on. There's more stuff to consume. But sometimes we need to slow down and take one horrible event at a time. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. I appreciate you. I do. I appreciate you. I'm thankful for who you are. Have a great day, and I'll catch you on the next episode of the Derek O'Shea Show.